Let's talk about bullies. Bullies come in many different varieties. Some on this list are silly and hardly dangerous. Some of them,
not even human, they're cartoons.
And some of them are just straight up assholes, so my definition of bully for this particular video is pretty open for interpretation. If one of your favorite bullies isn't on this list, that's because it's my list. Feel free to add below in the comments any additional bullies that you think are memorable for whatever reason. Coming in at the bottom of the list is a character that I always wish had more screen time.
I'm not that lucky.
Buzz was one of the earliest movie bullies I can recall, and having grown up as an only child, I considered myself lucky not to have an older brother like that. But at the same time, I was disappointed I didn't have a cool trunk to go through with all kinds of forbidden goodies like fireworks and porno mags and money. Even though Buzz didn't get much screen time in either movie, he gets enough where you always want more. From a one-dimensional but still funny typical bully to a manipulative dick.
My prank was immature and ill-timed.
Buzz has just enough clout to make it onto this list.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Far more than just your typical jock, Sean William Scott took the art of bullying to a new level with unprecedented amounts of foul language, insults, and over-the-top facial expressions in his portrayal of Stifler. This dude says fuck more than me and worse movies on YouTube combined.
Fuckface? Fucking you. Fuckers. Howdy, fucking partners.
It's been years since I've actually watched an American Pie movie, but here I am still thinking about Stifler, and all it takes is the throwing on of a best of video on YouTube for you to see for yourself why he's on this list. He may be quickly forgotten after the movie ends, but every time you put one back on, you remember how much you loved him. And if you don't think Stifler deserves to be on this list, well...
That's bullshit. Everyone wants a piece of the Stiffmeister.
Coming in at number 8, we have our first duo. While certainly not a major threat by any means, the legacy Bulk and Skull left on many of our childhoods has never been forgotten. There's not a particular moment that stands out above the rest to me. They never really did anything so over the top you'd never seen it, and if anything, they were just your typical silly sitcom bullies, but as a kid, week after week of watching the Power Rangers, you really started to like them, and sometimes even feel sorry for them. I just think that's a good angle to have taken in a children's show. Now, it may be slapstick from beginning to end, but I can't help but smile when I see these two on screen, and you can tell they really had a good time with their role. Billy West has voiced so many memorable characters that I've lost count. He has made me laugh since I was a small child with his talent on Ren and Stimpy.
Shut up, you fool! Yes, I shall kill you!
And many years later with so many great characters on Futurama.
This is Zep Brannigan, master of time, space, and everything else in between, and
man, all this constant exposure to radiation is making me thirsty.
Still, in those early Nickelodeon days, not only did he voice the main character, Doug Funny,
Doug,
yeah.
On Nickelodeon, he was a painfully shy 11-and-a-half-year-old.
in one of the greatest kids' cartoons of all time, in my opinion, he also voiced the bully of the show, Roger Klotz.
Yeah, come here, loser.
hey, hello world! This is Roger Klotz. I'm running for office, so vote for this!
Roger was an amazingly fun bully to see torment the kids of Bluffington. I always appreciated the extra effort the show went through giving Roger some meaning behind it all. We find out Roger's father lives in another town,
Roger's dad lives in Bloatsburg.
making his home life a stark contrast to the rest of the Bluffington families. Unlike a lot of bullies though, we can see something inside of Roger does want to be good. There's one episode in particular that comes to mind here where Roger's throwing a party and he invites everyone but Doug. Now feeling ostracized, he shows up to confront Roger and Doug discovers that of all people, Roger has hosted the surprise party for him that they planned since it's been 1 year since he moved to Bluffington.
Yeah, well, hey, it doesn't mean we're getting married or anything.
If you saw this at the right age, you were quite possibly terrorized. The Trunchbull is an amazing bully, with almost no redeeming qualities about her that I can find. From introduction to end, she's brutal, unforgiving, and intolerant of nearly anything outside her standards. It isn't enough to just bully the kids at school, she also bullies the sweetest teacher ever.
Miss Honey was a wonderful teacher and a friend to everyone.
All you have to do is say the name Trunchbull, and many of our minds fill with images of Bruce Bogtrotter eating that big-ass chocolate cake, or Amanda getting flung around by her pigtails. Either way, the Trunchbull's not memorable enough to be too far up the list, but mean enough to certainly be somewhere on it.
Yes, Miss Trunchbull, sir.
Possibly my earliest introduction to bullying came from Jimbo. Often followed by his other two minions, Dolph and Kearney, these three bullies have always had their place in any list simply for their staying power. While not the most popular Simpsons character, they've each had their moments in front of the camera. Through tiny scenarios here and there, they've helped to enrich the Simpsons universe even further. One episode that always stood out since my childhood was Camp Krusty, where the three became counselors and wreaked havoc upon the kids. What about when they thought they were going to get those bikes? Great stuff, which leads us into my next pick. The fact that a single character can be identified by this simple sound says a lot. Although seen hanging around with Jimbo, Dolph, and Kearney, Nelson, being a bit younger, more often than not did his own thing. He's even been known to go against the grain with them, such as the time he dated Lisa and stood up for her.
Hey, back off, James!
Even so, old habits are hard to kick, and sooner or later, Nelson was bound to turn into the troublemaker that he was born to be. Much like Roger Klotz, we know that Nelson's father isn't in the picture, so it's easy to see why with his age, he sticks to himself more and has the aggression and anger that he does. But Nelson certainly is a great bully, and I'm sure at one point or another, in all of our lives, we've all uttered,
Number 3.
I love Danny Cooksey. From his perfect casting as Montana Max, his role in Terminator 2, my personal favorite character of his was the bully Budnick from Salute Your Shorts. I know, there's a lot of Nickelodeon on this list, huh? I always thought Budnick was so cool. He played guitar, he was into metal, he had long hair, attitude, had a side business at camp. He really came across as cool at a time when cool kids in TV shows weren't really that cool. Rarely was anyone safe from Budnick's insults. New kids were immediately targets, Ugg was a target. Always seeking a way to make a quick buck, Budnick was and is one of the best portrayed bullies of his day for me.
You know, there's more to life than just being smart.
Number 2.
You'll have to forgive me for this one. This is going to be audio only for number 2. I misplaced the damn video that I've already shot. Let's get on with it. This character could have been number 1 if I was a little braver. And this might be the first one on the list who was a true menace. Henry Bowers in novel form was a nightmare. His portrayal in the made-for-TV miniseries of It, though, still terrifies me to this day. For his PG atmosphere, the actor played the young role with authenticity, and seeing him flick that switchblade out and rub it across Ben's belly still makes me shudder. Though a cliched character in many ways, who you get to play that character can either keep it stale or inject new life into it, and I always thought that guy nailed it. Even the new guy who played him in the recent movie did a pretty good job making the character somewhat unique, but I'll always prefer that 60s greaser look, attitude, and that mentality in my Henry Bowers.
Number 1.
This character has topped nearly every list in existence, so what makes you think mine would be any different? From over-the-top facial expressions to expertly delivered lines, Biff Tannen is, in my and many other people's opinion, the single greatest movie bully of all time. Not just a bully, but a womanizer, Biff pushed all the buttons when it came to being a bad guy. Old Biff, young Biff, future Biff, cowboy Biff, didn't matter the context. Thomas F. Wilson knew how to sell that role like no one else. He's just a great actor, and so many years later when he ended up portraying Coach Ben Fredericks on Freaks and Geeks, it was just even better to see his range grow. His portrayal of Biff, though, will always be his defining role, and this is proven by the fact that he actually carries around cards with him wherever he goes, so when he inevitably gets asked all the typical questions people want to ask him, he can simply reply by handing them the card. Now, I couldn't find pictures of the actual cards themselves, but I have found the text, so I'm just going to put that on the screen for a second. Feel free to pause and read it if you so choose. Does this really even need an outro? Those are my top 10 bullies. If you like this kind of content, hit the thumbs up button. We'll see you next time.